الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي شرع لعباده الصيام لتهذيب نفوسهم وتطهيرهم من الآثام. أحمده تعالى وهو المستحق للحمد، وأشكره على نعمه التي تزيد عن العد، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له في عبادته، كما أنه لا شريك له في ملكه، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله أتقى من صلى وصام وحج واعتمر وأطاع ربه في السر والجهر، صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن سار على نهجه وتمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Praise be to Allah, our Creator, who is known to be Rahman and Rahim, something that every time we pray, we repeat this Rahman and Rahim. That's an emphasis that Allah is full of mercy and full of compassionate with his servants. I like to congratulate us, you, all of us, for the coming of the month of Ramadan. The month of Ramadan, unlike any other Ramadan, like even me, this is the first time I experience the month of fasting with what we call fear. As you know, in our state, the number of cases of people who are affected with COVID is now reaching like 50,000 or maybe 46,000. It is scary, but you know, the idea of being scary is something normal. You should not see yourself as a stranger if you had this kind of anxiety. Especially, we have been what we call imprisoned in the house for a couple of weeks. You just go for shopping, come back quick, wash your hands, watch all these things. And now on top of that, Ramadan is coming to give us the joy. It means Ramadan is going to teach us, you know, how we can tolerate this peculiar time of hardship. But at the same time, we say, maybe since Ramadan is a month of opportunities, maybe we need to take time from this kind of opportunity to strengthen our relationship with our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But here, it involves something else, other than just create a relationship, a healthy relationship with Allah. It is how. That's the question. How can we do that? Through fasting. And fasting, as you know, this year is coming with like 15 hours and a half, maybe 16 hours for some who need to fast absolutely no food, no water, and nothing would pass between the lips from the beginning of the time of fasting, Fajr, until the end of the time of fasting, that is at Maghrib or sunset. The question here is, how can I manage myself 16 hours without doing all these things? Well, we say first, alhamdulillah, we're not doing that much energy, like hard work. So we can concentrate on the second part of the question is still, how can I manage? First, you need to know that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Sumu tasihhu. Sumu means fast. تصح is you will become healthy. And then someone will say, how can I become healthy? When I am right now almost Asr time and my stomach is freaking and wants to do some food. And even me now, I say, well, I'm gonna give this lecture for like half an hour, maybe a little bit more, and then use my voice, and then I will suffer thirst. And yeah, if I want to make big deal of my fast, I can make big deal of fast, but I can take it easy and understand that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when you fast, you become more healthier. And let me bring to your attention this hadith of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You know, he said the worst thing that we feel in is our stomach. Yeah, we push all kind of food in our stomach. And he said, بحسب ابن آدم لقيمات يقمن صلبه. He said, like, it's enough for us of little food to increase our, or to maintain our strength. Okay. How Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained that? He said, إن كان لابد, if you want to eat, and then ثلث لطعامه, 1/3 for the food, ثلث لشرابه, 1/3 for the liquid, something you drink, and ثلث لنفسه. It's 1/3 of the stomach need to be kept empty for breathing. So this is something that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you know, said that for always, all time, during every bit of our life, is to maintain this kind of formula here. Also at the same time, what he says, خاب وخسر من أدرك رمضان فلم يغفر له. Is at loss. A person who will be at loss is the one who received the month of fasting and was able to fast and did not fast, and then did not receive the forgiveness of Allah. So it is like a cycle that every year we go through to purify ourselves during the year. How we mess up with people. We do our work. Sometimes we do wrong. Sometimes we do good. Most of the time we do good, but sometimes we do wrong. Sometimes we mess up with people whom we do not know. Sometimes we mess up with people whom we know. They are so dear to us. The marital relationship, parent-children relationship, brothers between themselves relationship, sisters between themselves relationships. So all these things we need to like cleanse ourselves, so Ramadan will come and give us this opportunity. That's why I tell you here how the fuqaha, how they looked into the issue of fasting. The fuqaha, the scholars of Islam, the early scholars of Islam, they said there are two kinds of fasting. Two kinds. Number one is called Sawm al-Jawarih. And the second one is Sawm al-Badan, means that's the one we know, that we eat, we don't eat, we spend our time doing fasting and this and that. But Sawm al-Jawarih is something important that we need to learn about it. What is Sawm al-Jawarih? And al-Jawarih is from, like you say, jarh. Jarh is like wound, is the body parts, your body parts that can cause wounds to others, that can wound others. Those body parts need to be under control. And under control means this is the time that you pay attention to this thing. You know, I need to emphasize always, and I always do that Islam is not just a set of mechanical movements, prayers, you pay zakat, and some akhlaq, not some Islam. The issue of Islam, always Islam emphasized the akhlaq. What is the akhlaq? The ethics. The ethics of how we deal with each other. If we do not pay attention to that, then what would benefit if our relationships are broken and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, do silat rahim, do connect with people, and you want to please Allah, you please Allah on using your own methods, by your own way, or what Allah expects from us. So that's why, the scholar said the fasting of all body parts that can wound others need to fast also. Means like cease to harm others, and this is important. And that's why, if you remember that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he says that if someone is fasting and someone messed up with you during the fast, what do you do? If he yells, then you say, you are yelling at me? So I yell at you also. So we yell and we yell. And then Rasul said, no. If someone yelled at you, you say, I'm fasting. That's what we call the fast of our body parts that can wound others. It means control your tongue. Things, you know, now, I'm sure many of us heard about that domestic violence is increased because of Corona. People are staying home, and then they are saying they see each other day and night, so they fight. That's the time now. Learn how we can minimize the damage. Means practicing fasting is so helpful for us to tolerate this kind of a challenge that we are facing. Family members, when they practice fasting, they can see each other, that they need to control their tongues, because it is the tongue, okay? We all know that. It is the tongue that can put you up and then can put you down also at the same time. Now, this is what we call the ethics of fasting. But there is something else. I think I hit on that from the beginning. How do I fast? I did mention the issue of 1/3 for the food, one third for the liquid, for the drink, and one third for breathing. But this is what we call the topic. But when we deal with it in details, we say what kind of food we should eat. And in fact, we need to address the question of what kind of food we are encouraged to eat, and what kind of food We are discouraged to eat. And don't do like that. Someone would wake up in suhoor and eat all salty food. And then when we tell them, look, you are going to feel thirsty during the day, he said, oh, I will gain more hasanat. No, I really don't want you to gain this kind of hasanat. I want you to enjoy the fast rather than suffer the consequence of what kind of food, the kind of food that we had, the kind of suhoor. You know that we have like only just limited time. You have to break the fast. And when you break the fast, your stomach is very empty. It's empty stomach. If you start to eat right away and put all kind of food in it, then really you did not do that well in your fast. And the issue that you have to pay attention that the health is important. Your health is important. Being healthy is very important. It means we address the issue, how can we break the fast? And Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you know, we heard something about the date, that he will pick a piece of date and he will chew it very well. And there is a poem. The poet said, فطور التمر سنة رسول الله سنة ينال المرء أجر يحلي به سنة. Say it is like to break your fast with a piece of date is a sunnah, and it was practiced by our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You will get the reward and you will sweeten your teeth. So, but don't just grab all kind, 4 or 5, just one small piece even, and just eat it. Get some water, get some juice, not soda or something. Put and drink some water, drink some milk, little bit, and then rest. Maybe 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes. That's why you are familiar with our tradition, culture, that we take the date and we drink something, and then we go for Maghrib, then we come back. I think if you can manage to do that, it will be good. If you feel that you are really unable to do that, you just sit and eat quietly and slowly, and avoid the kind of food that can irritate your stomach. I'm not going now to be a doctor and tell you, don't eat this. Don't eat. This is your job, really, to educate yourself and try to find out the kind of food that is healthy, that can bring comfort to your stomach. Do not overeat. Remember what Rasul said. He said 1/3 for the food. It means very little you can put. Now the suhoor, same thing. I hear someone saying, don't eat fried things and eat healthy things. Again, it is your responsibility to know what is good and what is not good. And I know some people are on medication, and they try to struggle to know, how do I fast? I should fast. And what way, and if I fast, what will happen to me, and what will happen to my medication? My best advice here is your primary doctor. Your primary doctor is very important. Even non-Muslim doctors today, they are aware of fasting and they know about culture. So you check with them. And then if you want to take a second opinion, and we have many Muslim doctors in our state. The Islamic Center can give you the certain names. Just call them, consult with them, send them an email, and see what they say. If you find that fasting is going to damage your health, then it is haram to fast. And I say that, and I know that, I'm using a word haram, and then someone may say haram. I never heard of that. If I find, yes, because haqqul abd is rights due to us, our rights, and including our body. It takes precedence over the right of Allah. Allah says fast. Your body is saying, I cannot fast. You listen to your body. And Allah says, I am okay with that. Because read in Surah Al-Baqarah, the ayah of fast. If someone was sick, then they can do fidya. They can wait until they are cured, and they can do the fast later, and so on. But I want to tell you, no one can get out of fast, even those who cannot. Again, the fuqaha, the scholars of Islam, they introduced the concept of as-sawm hurmatan lil-waqt, means fast out of sacredness of the month. It means whatever you need to eat during the day, you eat it as a medicine to survive. And the medicine you take, the water you take enough to keep you healthy and enough not to damage your health. But beside that, you are fasting. And I hate to see this person who is putting this junk food and sitting on TV during the day, watching TV and picking on nuts and this and that, and say, oh, I cannot fast. I'm sick. I said, no, that's not the ethics of fasting. That even if you cannot fast, you have to practice a kind of fasting, though knowing that this fasting is not counted, because those who are sick, and they have to give fidya or wait. If you believe that you have permanent sickness, and then you give the fidya, you feed one person, maybe like today, $15, $20 per day, you give it to someone, you calculate it. If you know back home, some people who are relatives, some people who are really in need, not just, oh, my relative, so instead of give it to the stranger, give it to my relative. No, the relative need to be in need. If they are in need, then you give them, and even giving, of course, you know that zakat is associated with the fast. Maybe we talk about that later, but even the zakat, like when you give someone a fidya, you don't tell them. You don't tell them that I'm giving you the fidya of my fast. You are hurting their feeling. You just give it to them as a gift. And so with that, I like to end. I know that I have been given half an hour, so I have to stick to the half an hour. And I'm aware that some of you may have urgent questions. So I'll be glad to respond to any question. you have. Again, inshallah, we'll meet again. And again, Ramadan Mubarak to all. And remember in your prayers, the administrators of the Islamic Center of Boston, those are volunteers and doing great efforts really to bring the voice of different people during the month of Ramadan to you as a gift. And it is done, alhamdulillah, fi sabilillah. May Allah bless them and keep them in your prayers. Thank you.
If there are any questions for Imam Talal, please post them in the chat and we'll be glad to get to them. I don't see any questions yet, Imam.
Yeah, well.
So let's wait for a few minutes if people have any questions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can say goodbye at this point.
That's fine.
Let's wait a couple more minutes. Any questions, please post them in the chat. Thank you. Imam, we have one question. The question is it okay to do ibadat, Quranic reading, zikr, following Fajr namaz?
You mean to do prayers? If they mean to do prayers, Rasul ﷺ discouraged us. Really, he did not say haram, but discouraged us to do prayers after Fajr. The reason for that is because of the sunrise, and the sunrise, the people who worship the sun, they do ruku' and sujood at that time. So we don't want to do the same at the same time. That's how he explained. But nafil is discouraged. But if someone missed Asr, Maghrib, yesterday, something, that's a different issue. Some people who may, and that thing happened to all of us, like may miss Salat for 1 year. They don't pray, and then they start praying. And then they raise the question of what happened to the 1 year. So we advise them, if you can, pray one time with every time you pray. So every time you pray Asr, pray extra Asr with it, and make the niyyah that this is for something I missed. So people like that who wants to do another Fajr, something they missed in the past, is okay. But the optional tatawwu' is discouraged. You know, I am a kind of person, I always avoid using the word haram. There's no way if someone is praying to tell him this is haram to pray. But I say it is discouraged, and we are doing something that was not done by Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rather, you take a break for until sunrise, like 10 minutes after sunrise, and then you do Salatul Duha, which is a sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then after Salatul Duha, you continue, you do whatever you want. So in short, we say, to make my point clear, it's only after Fajr until 10 minutes after Maghrib, we are discouraged to do prayers unless we are missing something. And after the Shuruq, you do Salatul Duha, and then you continue the prayers you want.
Thank you, Imam. The next question is, can you use injections while fasting?
The injection, okay, we are now heading toward the critical areas. Injection, as I see it, that if it has food, nutrition, I would say you continue your fast, but you need to fast another day after Ramadan, just to be on the safe side. This is nutrition. But if it is like going to do my teeth and they give me Novocaine, even though I feel the bitterness of the Novocaine, I would say your fast is okay. So anything beyond nutrition and taking something in the veins, because once you take in the veins, that is, you are engaging certain kind of food. My advice here, because someone will tell you it is okay, someone will tell you not okay. Just continue your fasting. Do what you have to do, because this is something urgent that it needs to be done. Continue your fast, but I advise that if you can, fast another day after the month of Ramadan.
Thank you, Imam. The next question is similar. What do you think of the use of inhalers during this month while fasting?
Inhaler is taken by someone who may have like critical time breathing. Personally, I don't find any problem with that, because the inhaler, he's not eating. It may feel something in the throat, but for me, I don't see any problem with that. People can continue the fast. Now, if someone told those people, no, it is your fast is broken, and they suspected that, and they do not feel comfortable, of course they need to continue the fast, but they can fast another day after the month of Ramadan. You know, that's why the sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam to keep fasting after the month of Ramadan and do volunteer, tatawwa, optional fast. And when you do the optional fast, you can say that this is to compensate some of the days maybe I did not fast it fully or completely, or I did not follow the rules 100%. So you can do that if you see that you're not comfortable with my opinion.
Thank you, Imam. The next question is, do you give fidya if you are going to make up fast?
Okay, making up the fast. You have 1 year to escape the fidya. During the time after Ramadan, so you have from Shawwal until Sha'ban, okay, to make up the missing fasts. If you missed that, if you missed the deadline, then you pay fidya and what we call when you don't pay your payment on time, they say this is interest plus they use the term penalty. So you pay penalty for not fasting during that month, and plus you still have to fast the missing days until you give up and you pay fidya. So my advice, if you believe that from Shawwal until Sha'ban of next year, you will not be able really to make up these days, and then make the fidya and finish. If you're not sure, make the fidya, pay the fidya, and then if you get well and you think you can fast, but at least you are on the safe side. And there is something very important, you know, the fast, no one can fast for you. So let's say, what if something happened to me, I died? And these days will be debt. So which is better? I prefer that I pay the fidya, and then if in case I died, I left this earthly life, then I am okay, I'm fine, I paid my fidya, and then if not, and then I fast. And of course, the fidya is to benefit the needy, the poor people. So it's not a bad idea. And if you cannot afford, but no one is asking you to pay anyway, whether you can fast or you cannot fast. Always the fidya is on those who are able to pay the fidya. Those who are needy and they cannot afford, then there is no blame on them. They have their excuse.
Thank you, Imam. The next question is, if you catch yourself saying something unpleasant, what should you do while fasting?
If you catch what?
If you catch yourself saying something unpleasant, something
What
bad.
do you mean, something? Give me example. Catch what?
If you say something bad, if you say something unpleasant to someone, what should you do while fasting?
If you say, yes, two things here. Always, whether in Ramadan or any other day, that when you hurt someone, to say astaghfirullah is not enough, because on the day of judgment you will find it. This person will find it on their record and then say, oh Allah, but I asked forgiveness. They say, yeah, you did not ask the forgiveness of the person whom you insulted. So number one is apologize from that person and see if you can afford any kind of compensation. Give him a gift, give him something that really hurt your pocket, so that next time you remember not to mess up with people. You apologize, you compensate them with something reasonable, not necessary. This is not a sadaqah, but this is what we call a penalty. You put yourself under a kind of penalty, so that next time you learn your lesson. And number two, you ask the maghfirah of Allah. Allah will tell you, did you ask the maghfirah of so-and-so whom you insulted? No. He said, well, go and ask his maghfirah before you come to me and you ask me for maghfirah.
Thank you, Imam. The next question is, when up for sahur, is it okay for us to read Quran?
To read Quran?
Yes.
Why you want to read Quran? You want to eat. You want to eat. You don't want to read Quran now. But if you finish, let's say I prayed Fajr, and today I have time, I can sit down after Fajr and read half an hour Quran. And suhoor, okay, I can wake up early. Yes, I need half an hour for suhoor. Half an hour, I wake up an hour before. I take my half an hour, I read Quran, then I go and take my suhoor. Let me tell you, those who do that, they rely on their spouses. If he's a man, you say, yeah, my wife is preparing the suhoor. Well, it is your responsibility also to dig in and work with your wife to prepare the suhoor. And you have plenty of time to read the Quran before that. So reading the Quran, you have to make sure that you are set, you are prepared well to have a good suhoor and to interact with family members.
Thank you, Imam. You've answered some very difficult questions, but here's the most difficult one of them all.
Yeah, okay.
Does putting on makeup break fast? I will let you skip this one if you don't feel comfortable answering that.
No, it will never do that. But those who say that makeup break the fast, it means ethically, not really. The fast is fast. Okay, go and check what spoils the fast. You're not gonna find makeup spoil the fast, but you deal with it from different angle, like whether Is it okay for a Muslim woman to put this? What are the rules? What are the limits? That's a totally different issue. But to mix this with that, that's the mistake that some of us sometimes they do, that they look for a woman. Oh, you're not dressing up well. How can you fast? Your fast is not accepted. I mean, this is the worst kind of da'wah that we can give. We have no business to judge the people or tell them how to dress or how to behave. This is their life. People have the right to do what they want. Allah is the one who will judge all of us on the day of judgment. And Allah said, don't do my work. So we don't want to do the work of Allah. And if we see someone putting makeup and then you say, you break your fast. No, the fast is okay. And I'm proud of that woman who is fasting. That's the norm of life. That today we look at Islam, we look at life differently, different perspectives, and we should respect each other with that.
Thank you, Imam. I loved your answer. So this is the last question, and then we'll bring this to a close. The question is fidya half of sa'i, which these days will be half of $10 to $12. So half will be 5 to 6 per day. So the question is fidya half of sa'i.
Fidya is what? Half
of sa'i. So sa'i is about $12. So fidya would be $6 per day.
Oh, I don't know who said that. Maybe I need to start reading again about Islam. I never heard of that.
Okay.
Is the fidya is to feed a needy person a full meal. So there is no such thing half, unless if someone wants to educate me, I'll be glad to look at it. I never heard of that while studying Islam over maybe 50 years. So no, the fidya is fidya. If the fidya, not necessary to be $12, it has something to do with the income of the person. The person who would not go to a restaurant or at home and they pick fancy food to eat, and then when it comes to fidya, I say, $12. No, $12 is just an example. It can be 10, it can be 20, it can be $30. Depend on the financial situation of the people. But like imams, when we are asked, we give the minimum. And of course, people are happy with that. I gave them the minimum. They say, oh, it's only $10, $12. And then someone will come and say $6, half. I never heard of that. But anyway, it is the fidya is equivalence of feeding a needy person full meal, not breakfast. It's a dinner. And they calculate that, and I'll be glad to help anyone who wants to be specific, and then I can help them what to do with that.
Thank you, Imam. I think we do not have any more questions.
Okay.
So we will bring this session to an end. I want to thank you so much for being here with us. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. And I want to thank everyone else who joined us on Facebook Live. Thank you very much.
Inshallah, we'll be in touch. May Allah bless you.
Thank you, Imam.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.